allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Individuals or groups of the community at large wishing to address the board.
I believe we have one.
There's one, Mr. Brandon Cochran would like to address the board.
Mr. Cochran, just a reminder that per the board's policy, you have 5 minutes to speak. At that time, the board can't interact back with you, can simply just listen. Okay. All right, if you want to go to the podium.
Do I need to try to speak into the mic, or can I?
I think you're okay.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Cochran. Thanks for allowing me to speak today. I'm the soccer coach and track coach at Westside High School. And I wanted to come to talk and address the board and the staff on the status of the soccer field and the soccer teams. I'll be honest, I'm kind of frustrated, but it's frustration and growth. But I've reached out a lot. I've been working with Mr. Henry and Mr. Stewart on being able to play on our home field at Westside. As of yet, I'm only able to practice there with the turf, and I understand that the lines at the time, the lines wasn't added to the turf before the design for the field was put in place before the soccer program started. So I understand that. My frustration is to be frank, the lack of communication with a resolution to that. At the time, I'm permitted to play at Oceana Middle School, which has been a blessing. We've been able, last year, we hosted all of our home games there. We had a full schedule. But being at Oceana Middle School, it's a place to play, but it's not home. Our jerseys say Westside, not Oceana. And not being able to play at our home field is a disadvantage for my players. I feel like if I was able to play at our home facility, I would be able to attract more athletes and be able to attract more people to our games. I still have a lot of people and a lot of kids say that they don't know that we have a soccer program. And I have practice every day at the school, but without having to have games at the school, I think it's a detriment to us. I've seen a lot of growth. I had a camp last year. I had well over 20 kids there. I'm running a camp this year, and over half the kids signed up doesn't even play for me. They're younger kids that's going to be coming up through our schools. That's anywhere. I have some kindergartners signed up all the way through 12th grade this year. So we've seen the growth. It's growing, and I haven't even extended the olive branch to Pineville and Mullins. I would love to see soccer programs on this side of the county as well. I don't want to hold a monopoly on that at all. I've often said that my goal was to have a county championship in soccer. And I think it's possible. But I do know that, and pardon if I'm behind on my information, I do know that there is a request for 2 coaching positions for middle school. I have worked with those coaches, with the coaches that are wanting it. I know 2 of them, there's 3 total, 2 of them have submitted and are taking the coaches classes this summer in anticipation for those positions. And I do know that I believe that they would volunteer if the need was there. But to my knowledge, speaking with the principals, that those jobs have not been posted yet for those programs at the 2 middle schools. And honestly, I know we can't communicate, but just communication. communication on where we're at with the field. I know that the decisions need to be made with Hellas and with the flooding and everything. And I know that there's talks with the practice field, but I have supplied information in an email on kind of the risks behind that with the dimensions and everything. But I think we can come to a solution. It's just we need to communicate, and that's what I'm here to do. And I know maybe not today, but just kind of jump started because prep season starts next month. I start my flex practices next week, and it's go time. I don't want to wait to the last minute to get started on the program at the middle school level. That's all I have to say. I appreciate the time and thank you all for letting me speak. I look forward to communicating with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy.
Nobody else is registered, correct, Mr. Stewart? Okay. That's all we have, board members.
When are we scheduled for the gentleman to come in and check the field after the flood over there?
That's still in conversation with the gentleman from McKinley.
And we also have,
Yeah.
also, when he comes in, we're gonna have a quote on some lines put on the field. Is that?
We can, if the board would like for me to do that.
Yes, yes.
Yep, that would be up to the
Yeah.
board.
I believe Brandon had a quote one time, what, $25,000, Brandon? Is that what I understood?
Yeah, I think that was the quote.
Yeah. So that needs to be done. It really does. You know, soccer in this country is beginning to be a big thing. Worldwide, it's the #1 sport by far. And if we can get 20 kids involved, that'd be great. So when you get that gentleman down here, let us know, and I'm sure Brandon would come in and go through the situation.
Okay.
I'd like to come too, so let us know what's involved. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, consent agenda, Mr. Henry.
Board members, you have consent agenda items A through E in your board packet. Consent agenda item A is minutes, Board of Education meeting, June 26th meeting. And that's pages 3 through 16. Also, consent agenda item B, extracurricular, special fundraising, and bus requests, pages 17 through 26C. 26A through 26C are new since from your original packet was mailed out. And then also consent agenda item C, pages 27 through 29 is P card statement for this month, for the month of June. And then also a few payment of invoices there on pages 30 through 59 under consent agenda items D. And then also under E is the announcement of our next board meeting, which will be July 17th at 10 o'clock here at the central office. Our team is ready to field any questions that you have around A through D. And Mr. Stiltner, I do recommend the consent agenda item as presented once we get through those questions.
Question, comment?
On the P card on page 28.
Uh-huh.
On dated 6/10, transaction date 6/9, motion on 16. I just kind of curious, that's something for the care of the dog, the wonderful dog over elementary, the Snake River.
It is, yes. Actually, those top two are related to him. One is his food bill for several months there to Goodson's, and then under that, every year, 5 handlers have to be recertified.
Yeah.
And River puts them back through a training, and they have to be recertified to continue to meet insurance requirements and then brush up on any training those handlers might need. River gives them during that training.
So River's doing the training?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
I kind of thought that's probably what you're That's a beautiful dog.
He's awesome. And he works hard over at Pineville Elementary. He sure does. He earns his food bill from Goodson's.
Okay, recommendation about the superintendent, have a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Motion made to accept, we have a second.
Second.
Motion been made second. Question or comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Five, no, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, board members.
Item number 3, consideration of meal cost increase for adults, 25-26 school year.
Thank you.
Yes,
Our
he is.
Director of Child Nutrition is back in the back over there that will walk us through this process.
Yes, I am requesting that we raise our adult meal costs only for breakfast by 10 cents, and our lunches by 20 cents, and our suppers by 20 cents. This increase is necessary due to the, of course, increased cost of food, equipment, donated food has gone up. All of those costs have to be calculated into that. I did speak with Tony Crego over the Office of Child Nutrition, and these were the numbers that he gave me. And what he does is he does an analysis every year of all of our costs, our expenses, to calculate this amount. And so this is actually, he's 1 year behind. So he goes by last year's costs of everything, and that's where we are with this.
Individually, can you break that down to what it costs for an adult to eat there? What is it?
It would be $3.70.
$3.70, okay.
For
Yes.
breakfast.
For breakfast.
Breakfast, okay.
And then lunch is $5.70.
Yeah.
A snack is $1.50. And supper is $5.70 as well.
$5.70?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
By doing this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Thomas, by doing this, it helps us avoid having a large increase at one time. If we can incrementally, as we see the prices and the costs go up of these meals, to do it slowly instead of all at once.
We're also required to, by federal USDA requirements, to charge adults the actual cost of the meals. Because the federal program is strictly for children, to feed children. So we are required to charge them the actual cost of the meals.
Anything else, Ms. Thomas?
That's all I've got.
Board members, I do recommend for your consideration the meal cost increase for the 2025-26 school year for adults only.
What's up? Okay, superintendent's recommendation, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made, do we have a second? Motion made second, question, comment? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Okay, 5 no.
Thank you, board members.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
Good job, Ms. Thomas.
Item number 4, discuss the superintendent's goals for 2025-26 school year. And we have a copy right here.
Board members, I wanted us to just have a discussion today, if you didn't mind, and then I would develop some goals around that discussion, if that's okay. I've given you a packet of information here. And if you'll look, I've highlighted a few things on this evaluation process, and I know just less than a month ago, we went through this process for the evaluation, but here we are again, time to set new goals. I thought what it might be helpful for us is just to talk a little bit about some topics you would like for me to tackle as part of our goals for this upcoming school year. And if you look at this page here, it's just behind this one. I've highlighted a few things there that obviously before September 15th, County Board and Superintendent shall establish written, measurable, and timely goals, which include a specific timeline for completion. Just under that, at least one goal must relate to student achievement. This past year, we chose to do 2 goals. Really, it was the same goal, but one for math, one for ELA. And then I also highlighted a few other things there on down the page that by June 30th or March 1st, if the superintendent's contract is set to expire on the ensuing year of June 30th, and mine will be expiring June 30th of this coming June, yes. So, we would need to look at that evaluation for that. But our goals need to be set in place and what you would like to see me work towards. This past year, we had 4 goals. We did a goal for 3rd grade ELA. We did a goal for 3rd grade math. We did a school finance goal, and then we also did a safety goal. These are some other goals that the State Department has put in their guideline on things that you can focus around on as a board. But there's a number of things that you could focus on. It could really be, if there's something specific, and I just jotted down a couple of topics that we could discuss here, and we could pick some of those goals out of that, or you let me know what topics sound good to you. I'll develop goals and bring them back to you for the next meeting. Obviously, we know we have to do one around achievement. I would suggest that probably next year we do something similar to this year that we did this year, focusing around 3rd or 4th grade ELA and math. That seems to be a high level of topic, especially with 3rd grade Success Act. So if you wanted us to focus on maybe a 4th grade instead of a 3rd grade this year, and that would be able to follow those same group of students from that 3rd grade year on to the 4th grade year. I see some head nods and some thumbs up. Okay.
I do too.
All right. Okay. Some other topics that I wrote down were finances. I think that's an important goal to incorporate in there, especially with the amount of overages from the state aid formula that we have, in making some cuts personnel season, also managing our facilities bonds. I think that's something around that is important to keep in there. You can never go wrong with safety, because if you don't have safety as your top priority, then you can't do anything else. Some other topics that we could discuss and look into would be engagement and involvement. That's a pretty easy topic, I think, to create some goals around. We could do something with regular school visits. That's a possibility. We could do something with managing personnel based on enrollment, managing that personnel number, possibly. We could do something around maintenance of our buildings, of our facilities, and so forth. That could be one. And then, we could always do something with leadership development, leadership professional development related as well. I'm totally open to, the topics that you would like for me to address in those goals. So I definitely think, by the reactions that I saw from you, something 4th grade related, piggybacking off of our 3rd grade goal from this year. I think we probably should keep finances in there as well, because of the facilities bond and our budget from year to year.
Absolutely, it probably should always
Be there. Yeah.
be.
Is there
It's the same,
safety? Okay. Would you like for me to develop goals around those 4? Is there anything else you'd like to include there more than the 4 goals?
Something may come up within the next couple of meetings, so
Okay.
we'll keep that open.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what I'll do. I will develop those wording of those goals around those topics, and I'll bring that to you for the July 17th meeting for your consideration. How's that sound? Good? Okay.
Sounds good.
And your goals you develop, they also
Thank
Board
you.
of Ed-
Yes.
Board of Education.
I'm getting, thank you, that's all, I should have wrote that down, because yes, that'll be important for us in the goals that you develop. I think that the goals that we develop for myself as superintendent should also be the goals that we develop and accept as goals for the Board of Education members as well during that time. Thank you. And that helps us meet requirements of policy there. Then also it helps us move in the right, and everybody moving in the same direction, all pieces moving together. Thank you.
You go on attendance, say,
We can add attendance. That could be a topic of discussion. Mr. Pritchard, we can't put less weather calls though. Okay, all right. I don't. That's not fair for me to have to put that as a goal. But we'll try our best. No winter weather. All right, this winter.
Cancel winter.
and attendance, my go with superintendent's evaluation.
At least at one household anyway, right? I'll develop some goals around those and bring back for your consideration, okay?
That's for
Information only.
information only. Okay. Superintendent's update, item number 5.
Mr. Stewart, anything from you?
I just wanted to kind of piggyback on the discussion we had before we started, talking about Stuff the Bus. We definitely are going to have another Stuff the Bus event. And looking at the calendar, just briefly, we'll try to do that between the range of August 4th through the 15th. I'd like to have 2 buses this year. We'll have one probably here at the civil office, and then probably strategically place one somewhere else in the county where we have a lot of traffic and people might want to donate, make it a little easier for them to donate those supplies. So if anybody out there in live land is hearing and you'd like to start planning for donating stuff for our Stuff the Bus event, we definitely will appreciate that when the time comes. We'll put out some flyers and things here soon to get that started. But thank you, Mr. Pritchard, for asking that question. That
I got it last night in church, so.
yeah, just tell them to go ahead and start getting ready, because we're going to do it. And if they want to bring it earlier than that, we can find a place to put it next time.
What was the dates again?
August 4th through the 11th, or 15th. I'm sorry, August 4th through the 15th.
I'm glad I asked you, but that's where we heard it from. Thank you.
Miss
You're welcome.
Miss Mitchell is traveling to a training at Stonewall. Her and Mr. Dillon are going up for actually Miss Church as well, right? They're going up for some federal programs information, so they're on their way to Stonewall. I'm wondering if she took your GPS with her.
Well, I was worried about that.
Mr. Dillon, I wonder if she did. I bet she did. She'll be fine. They'll be gone tomorrow and then back on Wednesday. Melinda, though, Miss Church is out rest of the week, correct?
I think so, yes.
At CSBO training. So they piggyback that federal programs with school business officers as well. So she'll be out the rest of the week there. I've given you a couple of documents here that might be helpful for you. I emailed you some of these as well on calendar dates, but this is just our calendar that we've sent off for printing. This is the front of the calendar, and then really important dates on this second one, which is the back of the calendar. And that might look familiar to you, that's all. Those have been sent to the printer and will be printed any day now. And then when we get that in, we'll make sure you get copies of that. But we wanted you to have those because it gives you the dates of the board meetings as well as principals meetings, and as long as the superintendent doesn't calling days off school, report card dates, and parent-teacher conferences and so forth. So some of that's tentative to any type of schedule changes that has to be made. But if you'll flip on through there, I wanted to give you a copy of cabinet and leadership team meetings as well that we have here at the central office. The items on the left are what we call our cabinet meeting would be all directors that work here in the office. So that would be an entire staff meeting of everyone. And when it says leadership only, then that's typically folks focused around curriculum decisions and so forth. It's not necessarily everybody in that light. So I want to give you a copy of that as well. Then we've got some really creative people within the office here do a really good job with Canva, and Leanne has made a couple of flyers for us that have gone out on social media. This is our staggered opening for the 25-26 school year. We started doing that several years back, and that has been really well received. First year we did it in 4 days, and now we've cut that down to 3 days. But it really works out well for a smooth start to the school year. So we'll continue that. That's been pushed out on social media in case somebody asks you. There's a copy of that. And then also a really important page for families, and we try to send this out to them in a couple of different ways. Ms. Biggs has already sent this out on social media. We also print this in that calendar that we print and send home every year. This snapshot of information goes in that as well. And that just gives families and parents a little bit of time to be able to plan ahead on some of those major days off, scheduled days off, whether it be holidays or professional learning days, graduation information there, and so forth. Those have been really well received also by our folks. So that's been pushed out on social media. And then the last thing that I have for you, board members, is just a copy of a huddle schedule that we had at central offices today. It was a really good day, but a really busy day. And I just wanted you to see some of the topics that we were discussing as a group for planning and implementing our vision and mission for next school year. Started at 9:30 this morning and then ended around 3 o'clock with a school safety huddle and talking about some different things. But you'll see there some of the topics that we met as a group and discussed, and not everybody attends every one of these meetings. It's if it pertains to your department, then you come to that meeting. But we talked about any areas that we need to watch for personnel as far as numbers. For instance, kindergarten classrooms can only house a certain amount of students before other classrooms have to be added, and especially at that elementary age level, if there's overages that come out of that exceed policy 2510, that we might have to add positions back. Just hot spots that we'll watch there as far as those numbers go. Then we talked about some important dates and things that are coming up. And then if you look there on that 12:30 meeting, that was our cell phone policy. And as you know, the state legislature required that each county now come up with a cell phone policy. So here in the next couple of meetings, we'll be bringing you our work from that meeting today that we received from Neola and some choices that we've made to put in that policy. And then we talked about some summer maintenance projects and some needs that we have out there, and then ended with some school safety updates.
Busy day.
It was a good day though. There was a lot of good work went into just some meeting with each other and getting input from each department on some of those areas. One major change you might see on social media is that school mapping bill that was adopted by legislation. So by September of 2026, all schools have to be formatted. Their floor plans have to be put into an electronic mapping system, and the state is providing some money to assist in that. So Mr. Hilton just got us off to a good start today in beginning phases of planning how to get that done. There's a lot of companies out there that will do this work within those systems for us, and that money comes from the state for us to be able to provide that. So a busy day, but a good day. I just want to give you an idea of some topics that central office was discussing today. And that's all the information, board members, that we have at this time. And Mr. Chilton, that was for information only, but I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have.
The baseball field out west side, does that coach ever say anything to you about water standing on when they're not playing game stuff, not needing some drainage worked on?
Maybe in right field, that ditch or something over in that
He's
area.
supposed
But,
to send you a bunch of pictures that he showed me down there.
I haven't seen anything on that. Have you heard anything?
It's always had a little problem in that right field side, since way back, years ago, there was an issue with, some drainage lines being, ran over.
Wasn't
when they
done
moved that.
right.
Right, and, so it's just kind of been, slope has not been right from the very beginning on that one, so right field always stayed a little damp on that side, that's why you'll see all those ditches, down there a little heavier, but it still doesn't wanna run off, cause it's just not sloped right. So,
Is the cross-country course incorporated that fence back there? Not anymore? They used to run back through there on,
I think they do have it back through.
yeah,
I can't confirm that, but I don't.
I believe they do. Okay,
Information only.
superintendent's update, okay, item number 6, I guess, aren't we? Consideration of personnel recommendation. Here she is.
Hey, I thought of that.
No,
That's what we're doing. Good.
yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
I don't think there's been any changes to that. I don't think there's been any changes to that since Angel emailed that out to us.
You people don't know, Brandon's mom was the lady that did the math presentation here last week. Did a great job. Great job.
Board members, we are prepared to answer any questions that you have about the personnel list. But I do recommend the personnel list to you as presented in Ms. Lane's email, and then also this hard copy that we've given you here today.
When will we know the placements of those community school people?
We have sent that to SESC for their approval. So we should be able to, have we notified those people
We
yet?
have not,
Yeah.
we're waiting to make sure everything's okay with SESC on that, but we have conducted the interviews and sending the information to them.
Interviews hadn't been done yet?
Yes.
They have,
Oh, they have been,
yes,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, we've sent recommendations in too.
Okay.
We have lots of excellent candidates, come through for interview.
How many are we gonna cut down on that?
We'll have a total of 8 positions.
8 positions?
Yeah, 3 of those schools elected to utilize some carryover Title I funds
Okay.
to be able to cover their portion of the salary outside of the grant that we received. And then the other positions we will cover from here outside of the grant. So that'll be a total of 5 there, but a total of 8 completely.
Okay.
Yeah. Those three of those schools, there were a couple of schools that had enough money to be able to utilize a carryover to be able to fund that, like we did counselors.
Yeah.
And then some budgets were too tight there; they couldn't, but we're able to service every school.
It's a shame we can't keep them all.
It'd be
It's a
wonderful.
great program.
Yeah, it'd be
Great program.
wonderful.
Okay, recommendation was made by the superintendent on the personnel. Have a motion.
Motion to approve personnel list.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion been made second. Question or comment? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 They both said aye.
Okay. I know, Mr. Henry.
Thank you.
Okay, that's been a quick meeting. Okay, anything else, Mr. Henry, we need to go over?
No, sir, not this
How
time.
about, anything else for the, agenda for next meeting? Nothing coming up?
No, sir.
Okay. So, if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion for adjournment. Recommendation for adjournment. Motion been made. I'll second it.
I thought you made it.
Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.